So how do all those characteristics of internet culture compare to offline culture? We have seen that the language used online ultimately tries to imitate real-world communication, from words to emotions, without ever really attaining perfection, but creating its own style in the process. We have seen that comedy online is actually different from comedy offline, as there are tools accessible online that induce the development of a unique type of humor. Subcultures of every genre can find their place on the internet, whereas, while that doesn't mean they couldn't thrive in the real world, subcultures definitely had a harder time before the internet. The presence of algorithms in the online world also gets the last word on what is popular and what isn't. On top of that, what is popular becomes massively popular and usually doesn't stay that way for long. In the end, algorithms make way for a hyper-fast, constantly renewing culture. Speaking of which, internet culture evolves significantly faster than offline culture. It seems to always be getting faster too. Take a break from the internet for like 3 weeks and you'll likely come back to completely unknown memes. You'll likely have missed a heaping load of meaningless drama too. On the other hand, if you confine yourself to your house for 3 weeks, outside, things will have relatively stayed the same. Unless a war broke out or some other kind of disaster. We've understood that online culture influences our lives greatly, definitely exposing us to more influence compared to before its existence, but still widely uses methods dating back several decades. Finally, anonymity allows users to freely speak without worrying about the instantaneous backlash they would have gotten in the real world, making for interactions that could have never taken place outside of the internet. With all that said, it's impossible not to see the resemblance between online and offline culture. They share the similarities of a culture, but we would also be blind not to see the differences stated throughout this whole series. I personally think that the main thing that differentiates them is evolution. To me, internet culture is simply the next step in cultural evolution. The more time passes, the more real life and digital life will influence each other until they ultimately become one. The line between them is paler each year, and as more people resort to the web to share their ideas, the connection between the real world and digital world strengthens. Feel free to let me know your thoughts about my conclusion in the comments, and to share what you think separates internet culture from real-world culture. In conclusion, there are countless similarities and differences between the culture of the internet and that of the real world. The short answer is very difficult to find, maybe even impossible, and if you're not satisfied with this answer, low-key just ask ChatGPT. Maybe he knows better. Thank you for watching. Keep in mind I am in no way a professional. Anthropology, sociology, and psychology are subjects of their own that can be studied at the highest level of education. And this project is for my English second language course for my 3rd semester of college. Whatever you say or think most likely has just as much value, and feel free to read the source material to make your own conclusions. And then again, thank you for watching.